Hi everybody, welcome back to Rambling Rose Farmhouse. Today we're going to be making a king cake. So around here in Louisiana where I live, king cakes are a really popular thing, and at this time of the year everybody is eating king cake. Anytime you go to any sort of gathering of people, there's usually a king cake there. And this year I started seeing king cakes in the grocery stores in December, which is really earlier than they should be out, but that's what ends up happening. They just sort of get earlier every year, and like I said, people eat king cakes a lot during this time between the beginning of the year and Mardi Gras. And the other thing about king cakes this year is that they're really expensive. Like, I've noticed that they are a lot more expensive than they were in years past. So we actually haven't even bought any king cakes this year. I've made my own. So today I'm going to show you how to make a super quick, easy, delicious king cake from the canned crescent rolls. This is so fast, it's so easy, you don't have to fool with making a yeast dough and all of that sort of thing. I do have a recipe for that type of king cake, and I'll do that one day, but for today I'm doing just the really quick, super easy king cake recipe using the crescent rolls. So what you need, you can use one can of rolls and make a small one. I'm going to use two and make a larger one, so whichever one you want to do. You also can fill this with any type of filling. If you have like a favorite king cake that you like, the cream cheese filled ones or whatever, we really like those. You can fill it. Today I'm going to make mine with cinnamon and sugar, so it's just going to be a really basic, plain king cake that's easy to do and, like I said, quick. So if you haven't had a king cake yet this year and you want to make your own before Mardi Gras, this is the answer for you, because like I said, it's super easy and super fast and really delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this. So for the one I'm making today, you just need the crescent rolls, and then you're going to need some cinnamon and some sugar, and then and some butter. You'll need powdered sugar to make your glaze, and you can either use food coloring to color that, or you can use like the colored sugar sprinkles, which is what I have here. Now, honestly, when I make these for my family, I usually don't even put the colored sugar on them because they don't really like it. So I just use the powdered sugar glaze, and they're still delicious that way. But if you want to make the traditional king cake, then you will want to have the colored sugars or either the colored icing to put on it. So the other thing you might want to have is the little king cake baby. This is kind of part of the tradition, is that there's a baby hidden in the king cake, and whoever gets the piece of king cake with the baby in it, they bring the next king cake to the party or wherever. If you don't have a baby, you can also use something else, a bean. I think another tradition that some people have is a coin instead of a baby, but either way, we don't. When I just make this for my family, we don't do the baby because I made the cake and I'm going to be the one bringing the next one anyway. But for fun, if you're making it to bring someplace, you might want to have the little baby, which you could buy these online. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you how I do the king cake with the rolls. So the first thing we need to do is get these things open. And then instead of pulling your crescent rolls apart and making them into the little triangles, you can just leave it one big sheet. Try to get this laid out. I did notice when I was at the store, they also have, instead of rolls, they have crescent sheets, I guess is what they were called. I'm not really sure, I don't remember. But basically it was the same thing as this, what I have right here, without the perforations in it. So that would work really good too. So I'm just gonna close up all of the little places because I just want this to be a solid sheet of the dough. And then I have some melted butter that I'm going to spread over this sheet of dough. Okay, like I said, I'm doing cinnamon and sugar. So I have taken an old cinnamon container, and I mixed cinnamon and sugar together, equal parts, and then I put it back in here so that I can use the shaker top to put it on my dough. I usually keep one of these because my boys like to make cinnamon toast, and this makes it easy for them. They use it this way. But if you do it, be sure and label that it's one that has sugar in it so that you don't think it's just cinnamon and try to use it just for cinnamon. But this is what I'm doing. If you don't have this, you can also just spread some sugar on it and then come back and spread some cinnamon on it, either way, or you can mix them together and do a little shaker. So I'm gonna put a good bit. We have some construction going on today. If you hear hammering and knocking and all that stuff in the background, on the room that we're redoing. So we're making a little progress there. Now that I've gotten this with the butter and the cinnamon on it, I'm just gonna roll it up, starting on one side, one of the long sides. I'm not rolling it super tight, just rolling it up. And then I'm going to set this piece aside. And I'm going to open my other can of rolls. And I'm using the original. There were different flavors, but I'm not sure how different flavors would do for this, so I'm using the original one. Then we're going to do this one the same way. I just have mine, I'm just working on my counter on some parchment paper, and I'm probably going to use the same parchment paper to bake it in the oven, if I don't make too much of a mess out of it. Now, like I said, if you want to make a smaller version, you can just use one package of rolls. Or if you want to make a larger one like this, you can make two. This one's having a little bit of an issue here. some butter on this one. I'm going to sprinkle the sugar and cinnamon on here just like I did the other one. Okay, and then roll this one up. And like I said, you could add a different filling in here if you wanted to. This one is basically going to be like a big cinnamon roll. Okay, I'm going to grab my cookie sheet and slide it underneath the parchment paper. And then I'm going to take my 2 halves, shove this where you can see it good. I'm going to take my 2 halves and I'm going to form it into kind of an oblong circle. Now I am going to cut a few little slits just to kind of let this dough open up if it needs to stretch a little bit. Okay, now it's ready to go in the oven, and I'm going to bake it for the amount that it tells you to bake on the crescent roll package. Alright, I've got it out of the oven, and it's not perfect, but when you buy a king cake in the store, they're not perfect either, so I'm not the least bit worried about that. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and add the baby into this one, and somebody at my house will be surprised because I don't ever put the babies in the cake. So it's not completely warm. I mean, it's not completely cool. It's still a little bit warm, but I have let it cool a little bit. So I'm going to go in this little spot right here where it's already kind of not solid, because it is where the 2 pieces join together. And I'm just going to make a little slit there. And then I'm going to stick that baby down in there and close it back up. Now once I put my icing on there, nobody will be able to see that. So like I said, they're going to be surprised. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to transfer my cake over to a platter, and then I'm going to make my glaze and add my colored sugars to it. So let me see if I can do this without breaking the thing in half. We made it. Let's see, I'm gonna have to work on my baby a little bit more. He's trying to come out. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and mix up my glaze. And what I have here for that is I've sifted my powdered sugar. I have about 1.5 cups of powdered sugar in this green bowl. I have a little bit of extra in case I need that, because sometimes when you start adding your liquid, you get it too thin, and so you need to add a little bit more sugar to thicken it back up. But what I'm going to add to this, I'm going to add some milk, and I'm going to add some vanilla. I'm going to start low and add more if I need it, because it's really, really easy to get too much liquid and get a glaze that's too runny. So I'm going to do it slow. I'd rather be able to add more liquid if I need it than to end up with a really runny glaze. So I'm going to start with my vanilla, And I'm going to add a half of a teaspoon of that. All right, and then I'm going to add a tablespoon of milk. I'm just going to start stirring. Now, like I said, I sifted my sugar because I found if I don't, I could just add, I end up with all kind of lumps that I don't want in my glaze. All right, so it's getting too thick already, and I've got a lot more sugar to go, so I'm going to add another tablespoon of milk. That's looking pretty good. I think I might need a little more glaze than this though. So I'm going to add a little bit more of my powdered sugar in here. That's probably, I don't know, maybe a half a cup more. And I'm going to go down to a teaspoon of milk. We'll see how that goes. All right, that looks pretty good. It's very smooth. It's not too stiff. It's not too runny. So I'm gonna go with this. Now I don't ice in my king cakes completely. I more drizzle the glaze over them. But you do need to get enough on there for your sugar. And my glaze might be a little thicker than what I normally would want it to be. Okay, so this is how I like mine. I like to put it on the top and let it run down the sides, not coat the whole thing. I have a little extra, so I'm just going to put a little extra on here in a few places. And then you need to go, if you're doing the sugar, you need to go ahead and put that on while your glaze is still soft so that it'll stick to it. Okay, so I'm going to start with my purple. I've got purple, gold, and green. So I could only find gold and green in this container. They didn't have any individuals, and it didn't have purple in it. It had blue and red. Purple, gold, and green are those Mardi Gras colors. So I had to get 2 different ones, but I'm going to go ahead and start with some purple. I'm just going to kind of go around here, leave some room for the other colors. Now we got it moving. Like I said, you need to do this kind of quickly. My glaze is already getting a little bit stiff on me. All right, so there it is, and that was super simple. Didn't take that long. It baked for 11 minutes in the oven, and like I said, I didn't let it cool all the way before I put the glaze and the sugar on. So this is a really, like I said, it's a quick and easy way to make a king cake, and it tastes really good. So give this a try, especially if you've never had king cake before. You know, maybe it's not like a thing where you are. This is something quick and easy that you could do. And like I said, you don't have to do the colors if you don't want to. But if you want to do something special, you know, for your family on Mardi Gras, you could whip them up a little king cake like this really quick and easy. So anyway, I hope that, you know, I hope y'all will give this a try. I know my family's going to be surprised tonight when they figure out there's a baby in this cake, because that'll be different for them. So anyway, I hope you liked this video and that you learned something. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And like I said before, I'm always so happy to have you here watching my videos, and I hope to see you back again next week.